Come on, son.
But Obadiah sees Elijah, falls down. He says, my Lord,
Yes.
what are you doing? He said, I'm on my way. He said, what are you doing? He said, have you not heard what I did for the other prophets? He said, I hid 100 of them. I put 50 of them in a cave. He said, well, that's good. He said, but don't worry about it. God's going to do something. So here we come into this chapter, 18, 19 chapter.
Yeah.
Come in here. That Jezebel hears about what Elijah did to the prophets. She sends words to him.
Yes.
Telling that the same thing that you done to the prophets, I'm going to do to you.
Yeah.
Now, let me stop here. Because see, when I first meditated on this, I said, well, why are he running from Jezebel?
Jezebel.
Why is he running from a woman? Now, you just defeated. God showed up.
Yes.
Put fire on the sacrifice.
Yes.
Burnt it up.
Done.
You standing there. You made the prophets of Baal look foolish. Now, why are you running from this woman? Come to realize he wasn't running from her. He was running from discouragement, discontent.
That's right.
Because after what God manifested on Mount Carmel, the people's hearts still weren't going to change. Ain't it ironic that God blesses somebody, you don't see them heal, but they still don't want to believe God did it? Good God tonight. You've been blessed. God done brought you from a mighty long way, and they're going to tell you, God didn't do that. It was just your imagination. Your children going to college and got blessed. You don't pay for it. You don't know how you did it. But God did it. They tell you, oh, she thinks she's something. But it's ironic that he was discouraged because even though God showed up and manifested Mount Carmel, the people's heart was still going to resort back to the paganistic influence. We are so caught up in the Bible tells us that we live in the world, but we're not of this world. But they were caught up in the paganistic, the idol worshiper. It hadn't rained. They got discouraged. There was immorality running around, but nobody heard the still small voice. The whisper. Let me share this with y'all.
Thank you, Jesus.
Last week I was up in the hospital. I went to go visit one of our members. And it was ironic, it was Sunday morning that we got there. And when we got there, that we went up to the room to see one person. Kind of find out there was another person up there.
Right.
See, that's God's providence. I was on my way to see somebody else, but then we found out somebody else had a heart problem. Also was God's problem that 2 deacons showed up at the same time. Look at the number. 2 deacons, 1 preacher. 3. Let me say that again. 2 deacons, 1 preacher show up at the same time. Okay, we go into the room, and the deacons looking at me and saying, Rev, we ready for you to pray. We just love to hear you pray, because I remember when I was in the hospital, you prayed for me. Okay, and so the lady that we went to see, Mrs. Diane, went to see her, she said something. She said, while we was praying, while we was praying, she said, I heard a small whisper. And God said to her that these men of God are praying for you. You need to pray for your back. She said, who is it? I didn't understand. I heard a small whisper. It spoke to me and said, you need to pray for yourself. And if you would just be still sometime, just be still, a small whisper will come. There are many times in my life that there was so much chaos and confusion and people were screaming and howling and being challenged on everything on every side. But I got quiet and I heard the voice of the Lord say, come unto me, all ye that labor and heavy laden, I will give you rest. Come on to me. I'm the shepherd that you shall not want. I am God. If you wait, I'll renew your strength. You shall mount up with wings as eagles. You shall run and not If you know me, trust me. I heard a small whisper. This is the day that I have made. You need to come and lay it all on the altar. Is there anybody here that God talked to you this morning and woke you up and started you on your way? I heard a small whisper as I think back through the Bible. Every time somebody was faced with a difficult, God would show up. I think about Joshua. He told Joshua, my servant Moses is dead. I'm going to be with you. It was a small whisper. I think about Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. God said, don't worry about Nebuchadnezzar. It was a small whisper. I think about Jeremiah.